Alright, welcome back to a new episode. We're going to get some body work done in this one, and Vladimir is going to be helping me with all that welding, steering, suspension stuff. A lot of stuff going on in this one, so stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing I want to start tackling is actually some of the body work again. I've just spent about 2 hours off camera sanding this hood, putting more glazing putty in, getting it cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to pull off the arrow catch hood latches. I got one off already, I need to pull this one off. But I want to get this all cleaned up, get some of this filler off of here, make it a little flatter, smoothen it out a little bit. Same thing with the back end here. I've been working on this a lot. It's not nearly perfect, but it's certainly getting there. I'm going to be doing a lot of painting this episode, probably getting a ton of primer sprayed, and trying to get this shell a lot further along than it is. Alright, I just finished spraying all that primer. It didn't come out perfect. Something was up with the spray gun. It kind of made it a little bit of a textured surface on here, not quite smooth enough. I still need to go back and sand a few spots. This is a little bit of a divot right here, a low spot that needs to be fixed. So it's got a whole nother round of sanding, glazing putty, and primer before this panel's done anyway. This just lets me see what's going on a lot better. I'm rubbing it down with my hand, trying to feel for high spots and low spots. But when it's 20 different colors, it's kind of hard. And this makes it a lot easier, a lot more consistent and uniform. So I'm gonna keep going on this, get this ready to paint. The rear quarter panel is looking okay. This one needs a lot more work than the front. It's getting closer, but it's definitely not there still. So another round and I'll spray some more primer again. I wanted to mix things up a little bit and take a break from sanding. So I went ahead and ceramic coated all of these wheels, lug nuts, and the little center cap pieces that are just right there. Ceramic coatings last far, far longer than wax, but they kind of do the same thing. They make a nice, glossy, smooth surface, and it's also hydrophobic. So water doesn't stick to it very well at all, along with dust and other things. So they stay much cleaner, and it lasts a long, long time. I've been trying different ceramic coatings. This one's Adams polish. I also bought one from Avalon King that I want to try out. I've had pretty good luck with this time around, the ceramic coating this time. However, I have used this stuff in the past, the Adams polish version, and it didn't turn out so well. This one turned out great. Everything's nice and smooth, nice and glossy, and it turned out really well. It's not hazy or discolored at all. But I actually did ceramic coat that F250 a while ago, and it kind of made it look like a rainbow a little bit, kind of like discolored weird. So I don't know. This time went around a lot better though. So I'm going to let this stuff all dry up in the sun a little bit and start working back on the body again.
live with that. And the threads are intact on that. This is a worthless bolt now.
All right, quick update video to show you guys all the progress we've been making. This steering joint is completely done now. We got the Subaru end welded onto the Datsun end, and it is beautiful. The advantage to this is the joint's smaller, it's further over, and this column actually hugs the body tighter. So not only do I get power steering, but it also gives me more room in the engine bay. So that's fantastic. Other than that, we've got started on the welding in here. It's not done. You can still see these aren't finished. We got it started, took a quick lunch break. We'll hop back into this a little bit later though. So now that it's all ground down, I went ahead and sprayed etching primer on here, and then a finished coat of paint. There's going to be a lot of coolant lines, a lot of electrical wiring, the engine itself obviously, just a lot of different little brackets and stuff in here covering up a lot of the imperfections. So you can see some spots where it kind of warped it a tiny bit, or maybe some grinding marks in there. I don't really care. This is all going to be hidden just by all the different components. The engine's a lot bigger than the original, so I'm going to be using up pretty much every square inch of that bay, but this is looking a whole lot better. I don't think I've shown this yet. I did get the steering wheel delivered early. This was supposed to be here in December, but it came 5 weeks early, which was super awesome. I got this shipped out of Bulgaria, and yeah, came way early. It's nice leather, wood grain with that chrome accent all around. I just wrapped it in this just to keep it clean. This saran wrap plastic film. Keep it clean, don't get it too beat up. Eventually I will pull it off and store it, but for now I've been using it to move the steering components while we've been working on them. But you guys have seen this quick release. So that's all sorted out. It's looking really good. So just moving further on back, I went ahead and rolled these fenders. I wanted to get the tires out of the way, you know, from any bumps coming up and cutting the tires. That's kind of a common problem. on low vehicles. I don't know if I even need to do that, but it's easy to do, and I want to do that before this is painted. Once you paint the body, you got to be a lot more careful, and it gets a little trickier. You'll chip your paint easy. So I used a hammer and this Eastwood fender roller. It worked pretty well. The fender's not actually circular. It's kind of more of an oval. So that fender roller didn't work the best. That, coupled with the fact that it dips in and then out, made it quite difficult. But between that and the hammer, it's pretty good. I might go back and do a little bit more on it, but it's looking great. Now the fronts, I don't think I'm going to touch at all. The lip on here is much smaller and much thinner, and I don't think it's going to be in the way at all. I did go ahead and order a different adapter set. These spacers, these are 1.5 inches, and I think it just pokes the tire out just a little bit too far. So I bought a 1-inch spacer. They should be here tomorrow, so I can test fit the wheels and see how those fit. Coming around to the other side, I did finally get this control arm from Apex Engineered, which is awesome. Got it shipped in yesterday. I just went ahead and threw it back up in there and started to get that rear sway bar mounted. You can see it's connected here from the end link, and then it goes up into these mounting spots here. You can see right here, this is just zip tied in. I'm looking for the mounting brackets for this actually. I can't find them, so I might have to buy new ones, or if they turn up, I can get this fully installed. So for now, it's only halfway in while I try and find those brackets. This angle right here gives you guys a really good idea of what we did to the gas tank, how we cut this out to make room for the muffler. There are a couple of small pinholes. There are a couple of small pinholes in here. You can see there's some fuel leaking out right here. I just put a little bit of diesel in here to see where the leaks are at. Anywhere that the weld started and then stopped, you can see the discoloration, the transition marks. That's where it started leaking for most of these. I just went ahead and marked them in that black Sharpie. Nothing bad. These are just tiny pinhole leaks. So next time Vladimir's here, we'll have to go back in here and just do another couple of welds in a few spots just to make sure it's all sealed up perfectly. But that'll give us a lot more room. We can put that muffler in there. So I've been doing quite a bit of work off camera as well. More body work, primer, sanding, that kind of boring stuff. I think the next episode will be dedicated probably completely to body work. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to happen, a lot of little dents that just need to be taken care of. There's a lot of imperfections in the body. But I need to wait on the rear end a little bit to see what I want to do. I got to finish these off, just finish grinding and shaping them, and finish this little section here. So I don't know if I want to cut that and just weld it, but anyway, this is a problem for another day. The whole front section of the vehicle is removable, so all of the work that's going to be going on in the engine bay won't be affected by having these panels painted. Painting is usually the very last step of a car build. All of the work, everything getting moved around in your shop or garage or wherever, that makes it really easy just to scratch the paint, get dents, and just ruin all of that hard work. For me at least, everything in the suspension and steering is pretty much done, front and back. So I can pull off the cowl, I can pull off the fender, I can pull off the hood and paint everything. All of that engine bay work can happen without risking damaging any of that paint job. So if I do get the body and all the panels painted, I can start putting the interior back together, start running electrical, and really make some big progress on the body itself. So it's moved in a 1/2 inch. It still clears the brake caliper, although at full lock it does run in to that little tension bar. I can't remember what this thing is always called. What is it? Right down there, that bar. That's a lot closer to where I want it to be though, although it is poking out just a tiny bit. But I need to move that. I need to readjust it to move this up. That gap's way too big. So if that plan works out, and if I do start the body work in the next episode, you guys will definitely see some of that blue paint sprayed. I changed around the formula a tiny bit from that first tester panel I did, I don't know, 9 months ago probably. It looks a little bit different, but I think it looks really, really good. So I'm excited to show you guys that. I know I've had a lot of people asking. So hopefully next episode you guys will see that. So keep watching the videos, keep sharing, commenting, like, subscribe, all that stuff. So thanks guys.